Hey, Cookster here, and welcome to another video. In this video, I've got some repairs to do to the hood of my 69 C10. The hood's actually got a bow in it. The bow in the hood here, in other words, picture a flat hood. It's supposed to be basically flat. It's got a bow, about 1/8 of an inch, maybe actually more closer to 1/4 of an inch right here with the fender. So the fender is here and the hood's bowed and sticking up way high. I'm exaggerating, but you get the idea. And I've been rattling my brain for basically the whole time I've been working on this truck, trying to figure out if I was going to fix it, number one, and if I am going to fix it, which I want to fix it, how to fix it. The one that comes to mind first is to split it in maybe 3 places and then push the hood down and bow it. That's not the right way to do it, but it's what keeps popping into my head. To actually pull the thing and bow it cold, or in one shape, I'd have to brace both ends of the hood, tie a come along or some pulling device in the middle of the hood, and then pull straight down. And without a frame machine or frame alignment tools like I had in the body shop many years ago, there's no good way to really set that up and to do it. So I'm going to try an easier way first. I did make one relief cut, so cut me some slack in the lowest flange here. If I cut the thing all the way up, I could push it by hand. I don't want to do that. I made one relief cut here to hopefully make this a little easier to do. Now what I'm going to do, this is another old body man tool. We call it a pole jack. A lot of guys call it a monkey on a stick. I have it backwards now, but you see what it does. It ratchets up and down as you push the handle. It climbs up. Hence the term monkey on a stick. Most guys use it as a jack to lift up, but you can reverse the head and pull down and squeeze. So in this case, I'm going to use it, come on, it's the rusty. I'm going to use it like a come along, which tightens up versus pushing out. So I'm going to hook onto my lower control arm down here and get a bite right here on my hood flange, and hopefully I can pull it down. Now I haven't tried it yet. I have no doubt I can make the hood sink down. It's when I let go, how far it's going to spring back, if I can actually make it stay. I got a piece of like 14 gauge plate here I'm putting under the nose of that monkey on a stick. It's just got a very small contact patch, about the size of my finger. So I'm using a piece of plate to spread the load out, so it won't, number one, won't make a big old divot in my hood, and it needs to spread the load out to make it work. I don't know. Let's try it here. Something's got to be moving somewhere. That's a lot of pressure. Oh, it turned loose. I knew it was loose. So this may not work. It slipped out. Let me try this bite. If I can get the right bite, it might stick and hold. Now, I know my back's to you, but I can't help it. Alright, that's a couple of pulls. Let me see. I am so afraid of this thing right now. If it springs off, it's coming out of here. I actually don't like this. Well, it's pulling the flange down is all it's doing. Well, it's moving it now. I can see it move. Yeah, it is pulling down. I forgot to mention, I've got my hood supported on the very back corner right here with a block of wood. And on the core support here with a block of wood, I had to pull the fender out to even be able to do this, as you could guess. To give me a good pull and to see what I'm doing. The fender was completely in the way. So supporting it on the 2 ends like a big arch, like a spring, you support it on the end, you pull in the middle, obviously. So that's what I'm doing. Let me give it another pull or two. I'm going to let go and see how much spring back I get. It's definitely moving. I got a pretty good pull on it now. I don't think it's going to spring out at this point. It's hung in pretty good. Need to grab my body hammer. when you're working a dent, you want to make sure to work the area, or not even a dent, with wrinkled in metal and bent sheet metal. You want to make sure and hammer all around all the metal, because it helps relieve all the stress and make things move around. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to move, obviously this whole area's got to move. This crease here, the crease at the bottom, so I'm going to tap around all of it. See if it'll help. I don't want to beat the snot out of it and cause big old dents, but I got to work the metal. Alright, let's move on and see what happens. And since that template I made is so crappy, the only really good way to do this is check it against the fender. So I gotta set the fender back up here. I actually believe I moved it about a 1/16 of an inch. I did move it. I'll be damned. I'm shocked. I'm not meant to be talking like this. That's just my excited voice. I told y'all I ain't right. I ain't said it in a while in the video, but I ain't right. It's not perfect, but I did move it. I am surprised. I am a lot surprised. Wow. If I have to get it to move the same amount again without any spring back, I would help it. Now, I'm gonna cut the camera off and make me a better template, because that one sucked. Did I mention I hate working with cardboard? I hate making these cardboard templates. It's just, I hate cutting it with scissors, I hate trying to mark it, I hate all that. I just don't like it. There's some folks on YouTube make the prettiest, most perfect this cardboard templates, like the Rat Ross from Africa guy, I think Diff's his name. He makes these nice, pretty, straight cardboard templates. I guess he goes and gets his cardboard. Well, no, that dude, he uses scrap a lot. So he must get cardboard from somewhere that's not. I mean, I save my Amazon cardboard, but it still gets all hacked up, and plus, in the humidity out here. Anyway, I don't know how he gets that cardboard so nice and perfect, but his cardboard templates are nice. Mine suck, and I hate dealing with it. I almost broke down and used plywood, but plywood costs too damn much to be sacrificing now for a damn template. Alright, I'm going to set this up and try it again. I got a better template made. Use some thicker cardboard. This is Amazon cardboard. I don't go to the cardboard store and buy cardboard. If there is such a thing. That was a joke. Now, the one thing I got to be careful about here is not to overbend it and then weld it and it winds up being overbent. I don't think that'll happen, because this is definitely going to spring back. Yeah, I want to get down here where I can watch what's going on and not get hit in the face with this thing. Very important. Don't do that. See, it slipped on me right then. Get a better bite if I can. Don't hit me either. It's moving, so that's a good sign. Alright, that's about what, sorry, my leather. That's probably about where I had it a while ago. It's definitely bent. Pulled down. Don't pop me in the head. I pulled that down quite a bit. I know it moved. I watched it move. I pulled it down at least a 1/16 of an inch, maybe a tad more. It's hard to read that half-ass template I made. But I can definitely see the split I made here. It definitely opened up. That I can see for 100% sure. I am very tempted to give that one more pull, but I'm afraid that'll be an overpull, because I was pretty close before. So I think what I'm going to do is partly weld up this cut here, because it has opened up. You know, it was straight. It has definitely opened up. Not a huge amount, but it's opened up. Alright, let me interrupt your regular scheduled video. I want to make a quick update about safety, and no kidding aside, what I was doing the other day with the pole jack was pretty damn dangerous. And I was kidding around and joking around about it, making fun of things. That's how I do. That's my personality. But I watched the footage I shot, and I realized how damn dangerous that was. And I'm using the word damn to accentuate. That was dangerous. And I was lucky. Now, as I said in the video, I've done this for years. I know how to, like this. Here's the pole jack, the monkey on the stick, that I had hooked to my lower control arm and my hood. I knew how to get the correct bite on my lower control arm and the hood to get the maximum chance for success. Let's put it that way. It only slipped out on me once, and the reason it slipped out was, hold on, I need props. If this is my lower control arm, it's sitting in there at an angle, a compound angle actually. You know, it comes down and it also comes back. I need another prop. So alright, I lost that one. Another prop. So here's the foot of my pole jack. In order to make that work, you got to be at a perpendicular angle and then pull up, and you're pulling directly against it. Well, when it slipped out on me, I had it crooked. I had it, you can't see, I had it crooked. Look at, nice catch. I had it crooked like this, so it slipped out. And I knew that when I did it. So the moment it slipped, in my mind, I knew immediately how to fix it. I didn't tell you guys that because it just didn't occur to me. Once I got the bite correct, it didn't pop out on me. And I was joking about it popping out. And yes, it certainly could have, and it could have popped out and hit me in the face and broke my glasses or my nose or knocked out a tooth. All that stuff is extremely possible. And you saw me keep my hand on the thing as much as I could. Anytime I kind of had it into my face, I pretty much kept my hand on it. So if it popped, and it wouldn't have been like a chain, like you're pulling, you know, a body shop collision ram, like those are like 10-ton rams. And you get those things loaded down with a hell of a pull on them, and they pop and it hits somebody, it's going to kill them. So there's blankets, there's special blankets you can lay across the chain. There's things you can do, and you never walk behind one that's loaded. You always walk around it. There's lots of safety precautions to go with that kind of stuff, and I know all those. They're in my mind, and I'm not walking them through them in my head to tell you all that stuff. I'm just kind of doing it and making fun of it and making jokes about the thing popping out and hit me in the face. But again, that's a very real possibility. So what I'm saying is, I guess I'm going to say it. I don't say this very often. May have never said it on my channel. Don't try this at home. If you do, make damn sure that you're safe and think about what you're doing, and don't get in there and just go hog wild and go crazy, because you'll get hurt. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll get hurt. And I don't want anybody to get hurt. And if you do get hurt, by the way, YouTube, I'm not liable. Hey, I don't want anybody getting hurt trying to watch what I'm doing. Because like I said, I've been doing this stuff for a long time, and I did it and I learned and I know how to do it. What I should have done, and I'm saying it to you people now, that if you're going to do this, what you should do, but what I could have done was take a ratchet strap. You know what a ratchet strap is. Wrap it around something over there, find an anchor point, and then wrap it around my pole jack here. In other words, once I got it loaded down, it's in here loaded, wrap it around the top of the jack, and then that way if it slipped out, it would just hit against the ratchet strap and fall on the floor. Instead of falling back at me when I'm sitting here, standing here looking at it with it right in front of my face. So just like I said, a quick safety thing. I wanted to inject that in the video right quick. This is something you can do at home. I mean, I just did it in my shop. No frame pots, no frame machine, no pulling jacks, none of that stuff. If you had a monkey on a stick or even a come along and could get it hooked up right, or buy a mold clamp like I showed you, you can do this at home. But for God's sakes, please be careful, because you can get hurt. Anyway, that's enough of that. So back to the video, and be safe, kids. Be safe. Oh, I didn't mean kids literally. That wasn't an expression. Be safe, y'all. Oh, buddy, don't hit me. You're my friend, right? That got it tacked together till I finish it for real, for the final one day. Alright, let me unclamp it. I'm hoping that got it done. All this fitting and unfitting and fitting and unfitting is very annoying and very tedious, but that's just how I do stuff. It fits, it feels really good up to right along in here where I actually did the pull, which is right along in here. It's still, it's got a little high right there. I can tell by putting a straight edge on it. It's got a big rocking point right there. Whereas if you do the fender's got a nice gentle curve, and the rocking point's about right here. You know, kind of almost in the middle, not quite the middle. Whereas on the hood, it's forward that spot, 4 or 5 inches. And I can see it and I can feel it. It's a little bit high. I could leave it and live with it. It's way better than it was. But if you don't know me by now, you know by now, I can't leave well enough alone until I try to get something perfect. So I'm gonna move forward, make one more. I'm gonna split it again. Don't yell at me. The only way I can make this thing move without heat and a much more complicated setup is to split that bottom flange. I'm not splitting the whole hood. Give me credit for that. I didn't go that far. Luckily, this is working. So I made one more split, about 3 inches ahead. I'm gonna make one more pull, like I said. And I believe I'm going to call it with this one. So we'll make this pull, weld it back up where I split it, and then I think we're going to call it done. Let's try that. Yeah, it's working. Definitely moved it. Definitely moved it down. I moved it a fair amount again. Now I would show you, but you couldn't tell how much it is. Just trust me, I moved it down. It's overbent, it's overpulled for sure. This is what I want to do. Alright, I'm gonna let go of pole jack here and hope it don't spring out. Grab the welder. Oh, first I'm gonna grab a clamp. Clamp this and then weld it up. Or weld it about 3/4 of the way. Just like the other one. And that should hold it. It's gonna spring back. That's just the physics of how metal works, and you have to deal with it. You have to learn to compensate for it. That's part of the experience thing it takes with doing this stuff, is knowing how much to overdo it without being too much. It does take practice to learn that. That's another reason I like to grab stuff in small bites, so you don't overdo it. You know, sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes you just got to pull the snot out of it, and hopefully it moves. do want to check, see if the rocking point moved at all. Yeah. Still about the same. I might have moved it a little. I don't know. Hard to, this is not a surefire method. It's just a method of checking. All right, I'm not 100% sure how much I might have moved it then. I moved it, I think, a tiny amount. We're down to the point now where we're just splitting hairs and deciding whose eye is better than somebody else's eye. Obviously, it's just me. It's my judgment. If I get down here in sight along the fender edge, and of course use my hand, which is my best body man tool is my left hand. You body shop guys, you understand. If I take the here and sight along the edge and use my hand, it feels really good. It does feel a little off, maybe right in here. But it's so minor now. I'm chasing stuff that I probably can't even fix without going through a whole lot more difficulty, splitting it in multiple places, which I don't want to do any of that. It is 100% better than it was. It was up almost 3/16 of an inch here in the middle. That's gone. It is not there anymore. If it's up anything now, it's 32nd-ish, something in that range. It's not even a 16th. It's enough now that nobody but me is going to know it's there if I don't tell them. I'm not trying to win a car show here. This is not a 100-point car thing, restoration, where a judge is going to come along with a little micrometer. If he does, I'm going to kick his ass in the butt and tell him to get away from here. So, anyhow, I'm going to call it done. I do want to put the hood hinge back on and just operate the hood and make sure. But I'm going to call it good. So let me get the hood hinge back on just to make sure one final time, and we're going to come back in the video and this sucker's done. Alright. Alright, I have the fender back on. I have the hood hinges back on. I have the hood bolted back on. Hood shuts as good as it did, 30 years ago. But the gap is way better. It's still not perfect. I wish I could have got it down another 32nd of an inch. 16th would have been too much. It's very, very close. It's so close that, as I've been saying, nobody but me is going to know I tweaked it. So yeah, it's done. I'm mostly happy with it. Again, it's not perfect, and I always sweat trying to get stuff perfect, but I'll let it go. In a day or two, I'll forget about it and move on to something else. When I get it sanded and body worked and painted, it's going to look just fine. Way better than it looked before I started. So that's the end of the video. So again, this is another video where I showed some of my collision repair past techniques that we used to use. I wish I could have done it more fancy, more elaborate, but I don't have a frame machine or pots in the floor to use a more sophisticated method. But the method I used works, and most of you guys have probably never seen or done that before. Pole jack is a body man's type tool mostly. I mean, you guys can do a lot of things with it other than collision repair and moving things around. But moving panels and setting things, I use it for a hood propper upper, and there's all kind of stuff you can do with that pole jack. And then just knowing what to do and how to do it, it is an experience is all it takes a lot of time. I did make those two splits, which I'm not proud of 100%, but it's the only way I was going to make it work without heating this entire area and really having some force to pull with. The pole jack hooked on my lower control arm was not going to do more than pretty much what it did with me. To do it solidly, I would have needed to weld my plate on and use my big clamp here and pull with a pull like this to do it really strongly and not get hit in the face. So the way I did it was about the best I could do with what I was doing it with. I didn't want to go through the trouble of doing this if I didn't have to. It's a lot of work. You got to weld this plate on, you got to cut it back off and grind it and I had to hook up and come along around the lower control arm. That would have been a pain. So the way I did it was easier for sure. Maybe I should have done this way, but I didn't. It's my truck. If it was for a person, for a paying job, I probably would have done it the hard way to try to get it as absolutely most as perfect as, yeah, I could have. So I hope I actually taught you some collision repair techniques. If you got things that are bent sort of like this, get you a pole jack. You know, you may have to get it come along for some things. You know, give it a try. This techniques work. Taking the hammer and hitting on the metal while you're working it, that's a big tip, a big help. Do that because it does help. That memory, that metal has the memory. When it moves and does all kind of weird stuff, hammering it helps a lot of that, the molecules and all settle out. You think I'm talking garbage? I'm not. It's true. It works. It's like my heat shrinking video. It works. If you do it the right way, those molecules reset and everything. It works. So anyway, hope you learned something from this. I'm hot. I'm tired. It's time to quit. So this is a kind of a short video, I hope, just to get in, get out, get this thing fixed, and I'll still have more body work to do to the hood, but we'll put that in another video. I probably got a heat shrink spot right here. I got a spot on the other side that I'm not happy with the gap, and we'll go from there. So anyway, thanks for being here. Be sure and do all the YouTube stuff. I'm Cookster, Cookster's Garage. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the little notification bell, share it with your buddies and all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Y'all come back now, you hear? Happy something. I mean, just bye. Be good. Hop along.